Welcome back to the 5th video of the beginner calling series. Today we're going to talk about finesse notes, whistles, whines, bubble clucks, purrs, things that make your calling sound a little bit more realistic while you're out in the turkey woods. Alright, the first note we're going to go over is purrs. You're going to want to take your mouth reed, put it in your mouth, and you're going to want to try to roll your tongue and say rrr, rrr, or you're going to want to try to gargle in the back of your throat or use your uvula. I can't really do it very well, but that is another way to do it if you cannot roll your tongue. I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration. Turkeys are going to mainly use this sound when they're out feeding or searching around, but you'll also hear it often in big flocks when they're just kind of moving around. Alright, let's go over the fun stuff, the kee-kees, the whistles, the whines, the bubble clucks, things like that. So we're going to take our mouth reed. The first thing we have to do is find the key spot, is what I personally call it, and it's the section where you can get the cleanest, almost like a whistle sound out of your mouth reed. On a bat wing, it's going to be either the right side or the left side of the cut. On a ghost cut, it's going to be straight down. You'll just have to play with it, but you want to take your tongue and push it to whatever side's most comfortable and try to get a whistle sound kind of like this. And all I'm saying is you just want to get a clean whistle, and that's going to be your building block and your foundation for all of the notes that we're going to go over next. First whistle or finesse note that I'm going to go over is the bubble cluck. I think it's the easiest to learn right away. Once you found that kee-kee spot and you got the tongue pressure right and you're able to make those consistent whistles, what you're going to want to do is short burst of air, kind of like a cut, but you're going to leave everything a little bit more open. So you're going to push up into that key spot, get that whistle, and you're just going to say hook, 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 hook. Just a little burst of air to get that little cluck sound. And you can change up a little bit of your mouth mechanics to get a little bit of a different tone or sound, get a little quieter, but this is the start of what we're going to do. Alright, we're going to go over the whine next. All of these notes end up going together, and I'm going to show you kind of like a realistic hunting or realistic turkey vocalization to kind of demonstrate how I would put all these notes together. But for the whine, we want to find that kee-kee spot, get that even whistle, and what I like to say is hew-it, hew-it, hew-it. And you'll hear that bubble cluck is kind of like the ending of that hew-it. Alright, the next note we're going to go over is the kee-kee run. The kee-kee seems very simple because it's just 3 whistles put together, but there's a little bit of a cadence to learn with it. It's quite difficult to put it together and make it sound right, and it's easy to mess up a little bit. So we want to find that whistle, and you're trying to get a hee-hee, hee-hee-hee. And then when you go into your yelps after, which you don't have to always do, but I personally do, and it helps put things together. When you go to do your yelps after, it's just you're dropping that tongue off of that whistle point and you're just bursting hot air. The kee-kee run usually symbolizes a lost hen, so it can be a universal sound. I've had really great responses out of toms, definitely gotten gobbles out of it, but the end goal using a kee-kee run is to get the flock of hens to come over and take a look and see if one of their hens is lost, to try and reflock and regroup, and that'll usually give you the opportunity at that tom being with them as well. You can use these notes when you're doing yelps and stuff and cuts and things like that, but I like to use these notes kind of middle day or later in the season when the birds have been pressured and they've heard a lot of the yelping and the cutting, all the aggressive stuff, and I'm just trying to be soft and quiet and subtle. I'm just saying, hey, I'm over here, and I'll use a lot of these things, and I'll give you a demonstration, but I'll usually like scratch the leaves or pick at the ground or break sticks and stuff while I do the purrs, the bubble clucks, the whistles, the whines, all that stuff. And I'm going to give you guys a little demonstration on how I would personally use it in the woods. Thank you guys for watching another episode of the Beginner Calling Series, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.